Michigan basketball is in the NCAA tournament. 11 seed do not have to play a play-in game here. First round game against the number 6 seed Colorado State Rams on Thursday, March 17th. What's up, guys? My name is Steven Osentoski of the Maize and Blue Review. Let's look at the Rams of Colorado State, break them down, give keys to the game, and then I'll look at the South region overall. What are Michigan's chances to advance beyond this region into a deep tournament run into April here? So let's take a look at Colorado State here. Really solid squad, 25-5. I'll throw their resume on the screen, their metrics compared to Michigan's here. Pretty comparable to Michigan in terms of all of these different rankings. BPI really doesn't like them, might have to do something with their strength of schedule outside the top 100 at 106. So it's considerably less difficult than one that Michigan obviously went through. They do have an impressive record in Quadrant 1 and Quadrant 2 wins, 5-3 Quad 1, 8-1 Quad 2. So really they've been pretty consistent throughout the year. A couple of tough losses, San Diego State. A couple losses, UNLV are not great. UNLV just within the top 100, top 90 of KenPom. And then an overtime loss to Wyoming, who's a solid squad in their own right. So let's look at their starting lineup here. You'll notice none of these guys really have that much height. 6'9", that they have, that's kind of their starting center type guy. They'll put David Roddy. We'll talk a little bit more about him at the center position as well, but not a lot of size here for the Rams. They do have a 6'10" guy coming off the bench, but really nothing at the size of a Hunter Dickinson. So we'll get into that in key points for sure. But this really is a two-headed monster in 6'5" forward David Roddy and 6-foot shooting guard Isaiah Stevens. Roddy here, he leads team in both points and rebounds per game, 19.4 points per game, 7.6 rebounds per game, shooting a blistering 57% from the field, over 45% from three-point line this year as well. He doesn't shoot a huge volume per game, 1.5 to 3 is his average, but he can hit those shots when he does, right? They often put him in the post, let him do work, but he can do a little bit of everything. So he's the guy to watch for. It reminds me a little bit of Isaiah Livers if you bulked him up a little bit and put him in the post to do a little bit more work. So he can dribble. He's a really good player for them overall. The other guy I mentioned, Isaiah Stevens, 14.9 points per game, 4.8 assists per game. That leads the team in assists. He can do a little bit of everything as well. He's quick off the dribble, can drive and finish, extremely consistent shooter year over year, shooting around 46% exactly for 3 years. He was all-conference freshman his freshman year. He can hit mid-range. He can hit deep. He can do a lot of different things really well. So he's the other player to watch. I'd expect Eli Brooks to be assigned to him defensively throughout this first-round matchup. 3 keys to the game that I have against the Rams. Number 1, feed Dickinson early and often. The starting lineup for Colorado State, as I mentioned, didn't feature anybody over 6'9". Simply don't have the size to combat Dickinson down low. Should be a great mismatch to have Giabate at the 5 as well, right? His athleticism provides another challenge that I don't think the Rams could really line up well against. Number 2 here, attack Roddy while Michigan's on offense. Get the ball out of his hands while on defense, right? Dude's a ball player. They run a lot of ball screen action with him as well. My plan would be to tell Terrence Williams and Brandon Johns Jr., your objective all week is to study his game. Their priority number 1 should be to stop him while Roddy is on offense. Double him when he's in the post at times to make him uncomfortable too. There were times in the conference the conference tournament where Roddy looked uncomfortable when teams did that when he was trying to back down defenders. A lot of success on the other side when Utah State was on offense in the semifinals of the conference tournament was attacking Roddy's defense. Wasn't that impressed with his ability on defense. You can find lapses. His closeouts at the perimeter were not great, so you can really take advantage of that. Put a lot of pressure on him on both sides of the court. Try to tire him out throughout the course of the game. And then number 3 here, drive to the rack against Colorado State. All right, it wasn't impressed with their defense overall when teams did drive to the bucket. Again, Utah State first half, a lot of their success was driving on them. And I think you can expose their defense quite a bit if you're going with that approach. So let's look at the rest of the bracket here. Second round potential matchup would be almost surely against Tennessee Volunteers here. Really solid squad from the SEC. 26-7 would be their record. Top 10 team according to KenPom coming in at number 7. Really balanced squad, couple excellent guards. And they do have a little bit better size. Obviously, being a major in a major conference, they're going to have a little bit more size than what a team like Colorado State would have. So Looking beyond that, Sweet 16 would likely be Villanova. Honestly, an easier game than I think Tennessee would be. And then Elite 8 would be against Arizona, a team that Michigan lost to earlier this year. So the road obviously doesn't get easier as you get further into the tournament, and crazier upsets have happened, right? But honestly, not a terrible draw, especially with this first round matchup, which I would consider very favorable. And Michigan is favored by 2 points for this first round. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Stay safe out there. As always, go blue.